Hey, what's going on, No Nation? It's CJ Wilson here with DoakTalk. We have some breaking news today. Not necessarily FSU breaking news, but it's in relation to FSU and could help FSU's cause. So again, we have some breaking news. Clemson has joined FSU in filing a lawsuit against the ACC. So again, Clemson has joined FSU rather in filing a lawsuit against the ACC. This is the second ACC school to join FSU in regards to this lawsuit. This is huge news for FSU. As you guys know, Clemson and FSU are the two big money grabs in the conference, right? From a TV revenue standpoint, football, play on the field, whatever it may be, these are the two big dogs within the conference. So Clemson joining FSU within this lawsuit only strengthens and makes it more visible, so to speak, that this conference is pretty much folding in the teams within this conference. I'm not going to necessarily say all the teams, the actual teams that matter within this conference in the grand scheme of things, see that they're being slighted and pretty much held, like we've been saying all along, just is at a financial disadvantage versus the other conferences. So to have Clemson join this lawsuit against the ACC rather is very big for FSU. All right, so Clemson put out a statement in regards to them filing this lawsuit against the ACC. Of course, there's been a lot of social media buzz and things like that. So this is what they had to say in regards to the filing. The ACC's position regarding the grant of rights, the exit penalty, and obligations owed by members to the conference, as detailed in its public statements and other court filings, leaves Clemson with no choice but to move forward with this lawsuit. So again, the fireworks are starting, things are starting to ramp up in regards to what we see as this Big Ten and SEC super conference within the two conferences. And you have powers like Clemson and FSU understanding the financial disadvantage they're at, and pretty much, hell, just being, how can I put this, being held as a hostage of the ACC, to be quite honest with you. When you have the number one revenue team in the conference in FSU and the number one revenue team, the second revenue team in the conference, rather, in Clemson, only getting $20 million per year as far as TV revenue. And then you have these other conferences, the SEC, for example, versus the SEC, where you're bringing in 70 to 80 mil annually within TV revenue. We're talking about every team within the conference. Vanderbilt is even getting this money, right? So it's a financial disadvantage, to say the least, especially when you're a big dog in the conference. And then we're not going to even speak about the Big Ten, who has a new media deal, and that's going to be paying on par with the SEC, maybe even more. So again, it's clear that it's going to be two super conferences, and we have football powers like FSU and Clemson. They don't want to be left out of that. 20 million versus 80 mil is a huge financial disadvantage. You just look at the in-state schools, so to speak, FSU versus Florida. Just from that perspective, $20 million versus $80 million. Florida is $60 million in the green just from TV revenue So that's a huge disadvantage from recruiting, facilities, everything involved. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out within the next couple of years, next couple of months, rather. I do think it will take a couple of years for the move to be official, but I do think we may hear something prior to the football season in regards to Clemson and FSU for a possible new conference. Jim Ryan, the chair of the ACC board of directors, and the ACC commissioner, Jim Phillips, who we all love to hate, right? They put out a joint statement in regards to this motion. The ACC remains confident in its agreement that all its members will be affirmed by the courts. Clemson, along with all ACC members, voluntarily signed and re-signed the 2013 and 2016 grant of rights, which is binding through 2036. Fucking ridiculous, right? Excuse my language. To finish the statement, in addition, Clemson agreed to proceed and procedures for withdrawal. The conference legal counsel will vigorously enforce the agreement by bylaws in the best interest of the ACC's current and coming members. So again, ACC is trying to fight this as well, but I don't think they have any legs to stand on. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out in court. There's also court documents that Clemson claims the ACC did not hold a vote requesting that its members, including Clemson, approve of the lawsuit against FSU, nor has Clemson ever authorized the ACC's lawsuit against FSU. So again, Clemson is on team FSU, so it's very clear. And it's also, this is something that jumped out to me as well. There were at least 5 schools that were in favor of a special meeting in January that the ACC amended its suit against FSU. So pretty much the ACC went to certain teams just to kind of back them up in their lawsuit against FSU. And these were some of the teams that were on board with the ACC. I found this kind of interesting. So the 5 teams include the Pittsburgh Panthers, Louisville Cardinals, Georgia Tech, a team that hasn't even played one damn game in the ACC yet, in SMU, and drumroll please, the Miami Hurricanes. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe to this video. Again, like and subscribe to this video. And also, in the comments, let me know which conference would you prefer FSU or Clemson to go to, whether it's SEC, Big Ten separately, or one of those conferences together. Let us know in the comments. Kind of funny and kind of ironic that the Miami Hurricanes is on board with the ACC. With that kind of tells me that they want Clemson and FSU out of the conference so they can finally have a chance of winning the damn thing. But that's another conversation for a different day. There has been speculation that there has been a push from SEC or the Big Ten for Clemson to kind of jump out and be a part of this lawsuit. And when I say a push, meaning, hey, you guys do this and try to get out, we have a spot for you within the conference. So I say that to say this. I know Clemson and FSU is a pretty good rivalry. Been dating back since Clemson joined the ACC. They've been the 2 powerhouses within the conference. What do you guys think about Clemson and FSU leaving the ACC and joining a conference together, whether it's the SEC or the Big Ten, and bringing bringing the powerhouse programs that they've been over the years to those conferences and making those conferences better and competing within those conferences? I do want to keep the rivalry within the one we have with Clemson, even though it's not a natural rivalry like the in-state rivalries with Miami and Florida. It's something I have grown to enjoying over the years, going back to the Bowden Bowls rather, and what we have now with Dabo Swinney, Jimbo Fisher, and of course Dabo Swinney currently now Mike Norvell. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. I do think, as far as a fit, rather, I do think Clemson and FSU fix the Big Ten, fix the SEC as far as what they're looking for, right? Brand names in football, good fanfare, travel, TV ratings, of course, that backs up everything. So I really do think it's a lot of pluses to add a FSU or a Clemson for those 2 conferences in regards to moving along in the long run. I do think, like I said, it's going to be 2 super conferences within those teams. FSU and Clemson definitely fits the bill to join those conferences. So it's going to be very fun. I know the competition is going to be a lot stiffer in regards to the games, but again, FSU has done its fair share against the SEC, Big Ten over the years. You bring us $60 million more in money, we can compete with anybody. So I'm pretty sure we have more news coming within this. This is just the tip of the iceberg with Clemson joining the party. There's going to be more news coming pretty shortly. Make sure you guys lock in with DoakTalk. We'll have more coming soon.